There's no place to escape to.
This is the last podcast.
On the left. That's when the cannibalism started.
What was that?
Are you ready?
Are we giving you
No,
poo-poo?
no, we're not giving you poop.
All right.
I'm just giving you. I'm just giving you a joke.
You're the joke.
All right, he's spit. Okay, Marcus. That's Marcus. I'm Ben. With us as always.
Oh, it's a pasta ravioli, Mr. Don Bignani.
You know
Man, I can't always be a different person. Sometimes I gotta be me.
No, but
My name's
you as
Henry
a terrible
Zebrowski.
person. You're a mean man.
I'm not a mean man.
Don't
I
yell.
am a performer. What is this character?
That's Preacher.
Oh, there's a little figurine of a comic book man here.
Yes, Jesse Custer.
I guess look what I'm doing.
He's licking Preacher's nuts
Wow,
right
he
now.
is really going
Where
to
has
town
this
on those
figurine
nuts.
been?
Oh, so many places.
I gotta stop licking it.
What does your tongue taste like now?
I don't know, man. It's like it's blood.
Weird.
That's
Blood
fine.
and hummus?
Yeah.
Does that exist?
See, that's the thing. No
Hummus.
matter how much you wash blood off of PVC plastic, the taste always stays there.
Well, speaking
They
of
do that so it's for proof of crimes. They do that on purpose.
Well, speaking of blood and terrible people and mean personalities, this is part 2 of Bind, Torture, Kill,
yeah,
BTK.
fucking electric boogaloo. We got BTK. He's coming back, but this time he's traveling back through time, and he's got Napoleon, George Washington,
What?
Hitler's sister.
Get out of here!
In a fucking telephone booth. That's him and BTK and his best friend Ted, and it's really going well for them.
Collect
what a
call,
great
please.
sequel this is going to be.
I can't wait. So we are up to the point of his first hiatus. We've
Yes.
gone through the total of what, 7 kills, 4 kills,
7.
7 kills thus far.
Man, he must be tired.
I need a nap.
I've been filming a short film and I'm tired, and I still haven't killed any women yet.
You haven't ejaculated on a child. Well, she begged for her life.
not this fucking weekend. At least not outside of my Second Life fucking forum I've created for myself called the Dennis Rader Fantasy Camp. Except my hit kit has got a bunch of dumplings in it, and it's
Right.
got a hammock that I tie. It's 2 poles. It's called an Insta hammock. You stick it in the ground. It's got 2 poles and a fucking hammock in the middle of it. You can sit anywhere and make it a vacation. That's what it says. If you're on the train, make it a vacation.
Someone get this guy a pina colada. He is living life on the beach.
I'm sorry.
All right, so Mr. Raider is on his hiatus, taking a little vacation in the years before a staycation. So what is he up to now?
So we just left off with Nancy Fox. That was victim number 7.
And this was the first good one.
Yeah.
This is the first time he actually got it right. Correct?
This is the second time that he got it right. His first time he got it right was Shirley Vian. That was victim number 6.
No, that was the problem with the kids because the kids got out.
That's right.
Yes.
Okay, so
very true. Very
Nancy
true.
Fox, I was like, that's really interesting. I did do a little reading on that, like kind of talking about how, like,
The fierce pure one.
yeah, he went out and he was like, he said, I have a sexual problem and what I really need to do here is I just need to tie you up and I need to fuck you. And she was down. Now that she was down, I'm not going to do this.
But it
I'm gonna
wasn't
do
out
this
of her
pro-rape
realm
thing.
of sexual reality.
She was just like, she sat and smoked a cigarette and, well, let's get it fucking over with. And she went out and she got naked and then he fucking killed her. He could have just had sex.
Yeah.
He could have just had an affair.
You
know what I
really
mean?
could have.
Right.
And this was also the one where he went and called the cops.
Yes.
Right afterwards and told him that. Because this was, I think
this
that
is
was
the
the
cops
first
from
time
the
he was
payphone.
truly proud of what he did.
Yeah.
Like, really, truly proud. Like,
Right.
I went in, I had a goal. I had something that I needed to do. I went in, I fucking did it.
It was like the first time I roasted a chicken. When it's like, you're just so happy because, it's the same thing. I tied the legs together.
Right.
Yeah.
And you jam it full of fucking lemon rinds and rosemary.
Is he making a drink out of her?
Boom, 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 boom. Salt and pepper it.
That sounds very good.
Is that really fucked up?
That's a
I should do-
Williamsburg kill.
And that was also, he stabbed her a whole bunch. Because the strangling wasn't working for him. So,
So
he
yeah, you
stabbed
do get
her
the
like
feeling
9
that he
times.
stepped out. I have a sexual problem, so he checked that off, made her aware. Bind, checked off the bind, checked off the torture, and then checked off the kill. And it was like perfection.
I keep reading, exactly in what way did he torture them?
I think the torture was mostly like the, and then letting go.
You could make a strong argument that
Letting
the
go.
whole situation.
And
Yeah,
you
it's
also
pretty
have
rough,
to, and you
yeah.
also have to remember, this is a name he gave to himself.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's true. I just thought he was going like, I'm a little teacup and like going sitting there going
Here
like,
is my knife, and
then
here is your
like
dead.
going showing her episodes of fucking like Jersey Shore over and over again.
Yeah, whatever the terrible show of the
It's
time
Rhoda.
was. I love Rhoda. I love strong women. I mean, not
You will
sexually.
stay awake and you will watch Rhoda with me.
I don't know what it is about you, but
Man,
I
he
just feel like I
binds
could
me,
go out and get a job.
And then he tortures me with this Rhoda.
It was insane.
I sure hope he doesn't kill me. Oh.
The BRK. Bind, Rhoda, kill.
And so in 1977, he takes a hiatus. And this is also around the time that the police finally put together a task force that is made specifically to catch the BTK killer. They have two names. They go by either alternately the Ghostbusters or the Hot Dog Squad.
Why is everyone gotta have a dumb name?
No, I'm sorry. This is the task force?
This is the task force assigned to catch BTK.
And
Why do they
else
call
feel-
themselves the Hot Dog Squad?
Anybody else feel like they're not taking this seriously enough?
Hot Dog Squad sounds like a gay porno.
It sounds like a gay porno or literally a group of fraternity members who have weird hot dogs on Saturdays, and they go to a different hot dog stand every Saturday. We're the Hot Dog Squad.
This mustard's spicier than the other mustard. Giving it a thumbs down, Hot Dog Squad. Out!
Yelp is going to hear about this.
It sounds like, well, it smells like Ed has been a member of the Hot Dog Squad for
Yes.
some time.
Yes.
That's mostly just his Polish
Well,
deodorant.
I'm sure they actually go to Ed's doorstep on a regular basis. He's like, get out of here,
It's
Hot
a
Dog
restaurant.
Squad.
It's like, oh man, I thought that it was a fucking hot dog farm. The way your pits smell, you
Right.
fat pig.
Of course it did.
Ed Larson.
I love. It's a clever joke. I did watch Ed on the Burn the other night, and
Yeah.
God, he is fat.
He
He's
really
getting
is.
big.
He's really
yeah.
getting
Well,
big.
he's in
Sucking
Los
down
Angeles.
chocos,
He's
yeah.
not walking anywhere.
No, the opposite. He's a madman. He takes mass transportation and he walks everywhere. You should not be on the streets of Los Angeles. It is a dangerous place.
And nor should you be on the streets when the BTK is around.
Oh,
But
Well,
I suppose-
especially if you're a sassy female fucking sashaying back and forth, asking for it, having a house, going home from work.
these Rhoda-like dreams with these liberal women.
That's what happens. You know when it started? When we started letting women play tennis.
I agree.
Those first badminton days. Those seeds were planted.
I think we can all blame this on whatever-
Badminton, torture, kill.
Yes, yes.
And it's also around this time that Dennis Rader himself gets a degree in criminal science from the University of Wichita.
Okay.
And this is
Not science.
Yeah. And the Hot Dog Squad came somewhat close to him at one point.
Okay.
Because all of... Yeah, I know. I'm just going to keep referring to them as the Hot Dog Squad.
mean, that's what they call
Ghostbusters
themselves.
is ridiculous.
Yeah.
Lieutenant Shart, the commander of the Hot Dog Squad, was keen on capturing the BTK killer. After I finish this hot dog, he says,
Always after
picking
all.
sesame seeds out of his fucking teeth.
Ridiculous.
But there's
It's like,
always
oh.
another hot dog.
All this evidence is all mixed up with ketchup. There's red onions on my fucking gun. He pulls his gun. Whoa!
It's not even a gun. It's just a condiment disperse machine. If I hit the button here, it's ketchup. If I hit the button here, it's mayonnaise. It's
Yeah.
crazy. Mayonnaise in a hot dog?
And this is the only time that the Hot Dog Squad ever came close to Dennis Rader
Okay.
because the letters that he used to send to the newspapers and the TV stations and all that, they were...
written on hot dog buns. You could identify them by smell and texture.
Oh, I will write this one in relish. Yes, yes.
Well, they were all photocopies, and at the time, this is something you learn, I think, from his criminal science thing. In the days, Xeroxes would make prints slightly larger every time you Xerox them, so they couldn't be traced back to any one typewriter, any model of typewriter. But what they could do is they could take the ink and trace what kind of ink was in the toner, and then they went to the Xerox Corporation. The Xerox Corporation told them which printers in town had that kind of toner, and one of them was, but they were all public ones. One of them was at the college where Dennis Rader got his degree,
And that's not
the other
even
one
close.
and the other one was a public library where he put his first note.
Well,
Yeah.
public, have no fear. We have whittled it down to 1 in 25,000 people. We know he's at a university.
And at this time, all
He's
they
the
knew,
one always wearing hats covered in the fancy tied bows.
It's like he loves to bind things.
He said I was also reading it like during that time he was also Boy Scout leader,
Yeah.
and he was especially good at teaching not tying.
yeah.
He was, yeah. So he was propping up his social status with the Boy Scout things. He was also
God,
very
can you imagine
involved
how
with the church.
hard he was teaching them like how to tie knots?
Yeah.
Oh my
like just
Christ.
this like rigid hard on like tying up a little boy. He's like, and this is how you do it to make sure they don't fucking struggle. They don't get another. They go, excuse me, Mr. Rader, we thought that this was for tying bundles of sticks together. No, I said faggots.
That's a double entendre.
Oh.
Entendre.
And by the way, this is something that we haven't touched on yet. This entire time, He was a security guy. He was working for ADT Security, installing security systems in houses.
And this is how he got good at
Yeah.
scoping out houses and the proper way to break in. Again, don't let people in your fucking house ever.
never.
Even
about the-
family.
Well, I think that's just more of a personal reason for you. You have a delivery man, something like that, or a weed service. Might have to come in.
Those are the only people I trust.
Yep, Chinese delivery
The
and
weed
weed services.
people, the only people that they will never fuck with you.
That's true.
Because it's always chill dudes with like a band name like Cork Sliver, and he's
Yeah,
coming
yeah.
over and he just wants to give you the finest orangutangy mangy that
Right.
he's got.
Yeah.
You know?
I got Binga Monkey. This
Yeah.
one is a really
Ooh,
wild.
yeah, it's some purpley, veiny, fucking thick green egg, fucking covered in salty crystals.
And Henry is fully aroused. All right, so he's ADT. He's working with the Boy Scouts. He's going to university. He has all of the accoutrements of somebody who is a successful member of a Wichita community.
Again,
Yeah.
I'm going to say those are just those are the fucking signs. of
Those are
serial
telltale
killer.
signs.
Anybody who's living a life like that is always fake.
Right.
Yeah.
Fake. Especially a fucking priest. And he spent his goddamn time in a church. You have
He was
to
the
say.
president of the church board.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And if you're a part of an administration of a fucking wizard's palace, also known as a fucking dumb church, you are most assuredly a murderer. At least you have feverish night hardness over the little boys and girls scamping through there, and you punish them and you hate their freedom and hate the way they dance and sing and talk. But the first thing you imagine is pushing them down.
Yeah.
Put
I
your
might
penis
convert
inside
to
'em.
Christianity if there was a church called the Dumb Church. I would immediately be like, all right, that sounds kind of fun. It's Reverse Pants Thursday, guys.
Ugh,
Come
he's
on
got
out.
all my shit. He's got everything bad with him. He worked for the government.
Yeah.
He was a Boy Scout leader. He worked for a church.
Mm-hmm.
Ugh.
Yeah, you can imagine the hate-filled sermons that he thoroughly enjoyed.
So from 1977 to 1985, he didn't kill, but it wasn't what you would call a hiatus.
Okay.
More of a slump.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because he tried. In 1979, remember the poem that I read last time?
Yeah.
Anna, why didn't you appear?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was about
Sounds
the-
like a Davy Jones song.
Yeah. That was in 1979.
Perfect.
That was 2 years after Nancy Fox.
Oh.
And there was
so he sucks.
yeah, and then there were a couple of women that he stalked in the early 80s. That never worked
He
out.
couldn't. Yeah, because I mean, early '80s people weren't looking very good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so
Maybe
1985,
they were just too into it in the early 80s.
1985, he comes back strong.
Okay.
Real strong with Marine Hedge, aged 53.
And how long was
I mean,
the
Bill.
hiatus
I mean,
total?
Beverly Hills Cop 2 just come out. I'm sure that he was very excited to be out and about.
So we had how long was the hiatus total?
From 77 to 85.
So we have an 8-year hiatus.
Yeah.
What
Well,
happens?
slump.
A
We're gonna
slump.
call it a
Yes,
slump.
I
Let's call it a
agree.
slump.
Okay.
Yeah. So 53-year-old Marine Hedge, she lived down the street from him and was also a member of their church. He went
Good.
I feel like you're for this murder.
He abducted her from her home, took her out to a field, dug a grave,
Planted her like she was corn.
planted, strangled her with pantyhose, and as he's looking at her in the grave, he gets an idea. He picks her body up, takes her to the church, and then
Oh, I thought it was
puts
going
her.
to be for like the iMac or something. If I could only have a musical device like in my hand right now, so I could listen to CCR.
He takes her to the church, and he has keys, of course, and he props her up in separate, in the sexually suggestive bondage positions.
Hell yeah.
And takes a bunch of pictures of her, and then takes her back, and then just throws her off on the side of the road, but not before taking a lot of pictures of himself in the grave that he dug, all tied up with a woman mask on.
This is the equivalent of boasting about a robbery that you just did on Facebook. Why would you take?
Only Instagram was around back
You know
then.
that he would have done it.
Absolutely. How many likes? He was like, oh, how many likes am I going to get for this?
Right.
Yeah.
No likes.
No likes.
I better
Nobody
murder
gets
again.
no likes. Only the least most popular nerds in the world get no likes.
That's not me. I'm BTK.
I'm the BTK killer. I'm the Garrote Phantom.
Yeah. Well, this
Give
is
me a
the
hot dog bun. I've got a message to write.
well, the pantyhose were knotted around her neck, but this was the only one that he ever actually strangled with his own hands.
Okay.
Well,
This is
that was also Albert DeSalvo's calling card with the Boston Strangler.
Yeah.
He used to always use pantyhose and do big elaborate knots and like leave them watching television.
Am I right to assume this is the first abduction situation?
Yes, this is the first one in which he abducts the first and only one in which he abducts a woman and takes her to a separate separate location.
And it's so sad because she probably thought she was going on a date. Mm-hmm. You know, he was like, "You want to go out? We'll go to a movie. We'll get some malteds."
Oh,
So
what?
they could-
So what are we gonna?
Malteds.
Okay.
I take
Dennis,
that
you
back.
were intense, but I am lonely.
There are two.
Okay.
Yeah, he abducted another one that we'll get to here in a second. However, in 1986,
Can we see the pictures of? Do the pictures? There's no way to see the.
There's
pictures
there's
you
no
took, right?
pictures of the woman. I mean, I'm sure they exist, because he kept everything. I'll get to that in a
But
second.
there's got to be a place
there
where
are
you
pictures.
can see that.
There are
stuff, right?
pictures of him
in the grave.
In the
I've
grave.
seen those pictures.
Yeah.
Those are fucking horrifying. We'll put those up.
Yeah.
I'll put the BTK. I'll put that source page up on the Facebook page.
Yeah.
Take a gander for that if you're not totally sick by the end of this.
Yeah. And then about a year later, he goes for Vicky Wegerly. And Vicky,
Real quick though, after this last kill, after this abduction, he threw her on the side of the roadway. Were the cops still completely cold again? They must have been stunned.
Completely cold.
So he was not linked to the previous crimes whatsoever, right?
not until later.
Okay.
Not
I just
until
don't
later was
understand
this
how they
linked
had
to
no
BTK.
fucking clue. How did they have
Because they
no
were the
clue?
sausage gang.
The hot dog bandits got to stop doing this kind of. Why let guys who are willing to?
The hot
Drives
dog.
me crazy. I just said I just feel like it's the all the snacks that used to sing the songs on the movie theater intermission things.
go to the movie.
And they're all just police officers now,
Right.
going after the BTK killer. Women getting murdered everywhere. Because like, oh gee, boss, I'm just a bunch of popcorn.
Yeah.
How am I supposed to find the BTK killer?
It's a great
Oh,
voiceover
sweet,
career.
Sweet, delicious butter all over me. Salted kernels. Can't resist me. Oh, trying to sit down and watch the movie. Me greedy fingers. Looking for my popcorny kernels. Oh, there's no way I'm going to find that BTK killer being so delicious. Put some Parmesan on me.
All right. Well, you could do that forever, and I would probably love it if you did.
I was just going to let it go for as long as possible.
Move on. So we have our next kill coming in 1987, 2 years after.
1986, about a year and a half later, in September of 1986, Vicky Wegerly, he did this one. This is
I think that's
ballsy.
also when Ace Frehley came out with his solo album.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
New York Groove, right?
I believe so.
Again, the connections to be made. People didn't notice this back then, but now with hindsight.
Now we see. Vicky Wegerly, this one is pretty ballsy. Strangled this woman to death on his lunch break in front of her 2-year-old son.
Really?
No shit, on
And
his
where
lunch
was he
break.
Same
working
time,
at
you
this
know,
time?
something's
He was working at the security company.
And you know, when Dennis comes back from lunch, you're just going like, man, oh man, I'm still pretty peckish. I'm pretty hungry.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you didn't go to eat in your lunch? Dennis is like, nah, no, I didn't. I didn't really get.
You know me.
I didn't really get to.
They call me the old bottomless pit. You know.
I don't know, Dennis.
Bottomless
It's kind of
pit Dennis.
suspicious. You always eat lunch on your lunch break.
I'm actually on this new diet. It's called murder during lunch. What
did you say?
It's a murder during lunch. No,
I'm sorry. No, I'm sorry. It's
leading-
break in and kill a woman during lunch. I didn't say that.
No.
yeah.
But either way, I'm feeling great. So
And then finally, his last victim, Dolores Davis, on my birthday, January 19th.
Congratulations.
1991.
How old were you then?
I was 8.
Did you help him?
yeah, that's the, Marcus. We've got you a gift. We're taking you to Kansas. Oh, what to do? You're going to be in charge of the torture.
You know, like the Sorcerer's Apprentice?
And on this one, and this once again proves that he's the killer on the go. He snuck away from a scouting trip to go kill this woman.
Man, he's just trying to. What
Yeah.
a fucking.
And this is when he
prima
starts
donna.
getting like stupid. This is when he starts getting cute. Like the woman was very a tidy woman, and so what he does is he goes in the kitchen and eats a bowl of cereal.
Because he's being a punny serial
He's
killer.
being a punny serial killer.
Seriously?
I fucking hate Dennis Rader.
I got time to be making fucking jokes all the time. Just be killing people.
It's ridiculous.
It's
Leave
really
the jokes to us, Dennis.
Why does it make me mad so much?
Because he's not doing it right. Because he's not taking it seriously. You got a job to do, bro.
It just comes down to
Murder.
it. It's like the guys I'm going to do this. It's like the guys who go to L.A. to do stand-up showcases just to get a television show, or the guys that stay in New York and get funny. You know what I mean?
That's
Working
right.
out open mics.
Yeah.
Going out there to alt comedy rooms, all right?
He's all
So it's
PR.
like Jeffrey Dahmer is the Mike Lawrence of serial killers. All right?
worked
This is the
every
fucking
single night. He
Daniel
was going out
Tosh
to
of
gay
serial
bars.
killers.
That's right.
Who's the down touch of serial killers?
BTK.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
right.
Yeah.
He got by on his looks, a little bit of charm, some wealthy family money. I mean, this is bullshit. BTK being punny after murdering a chick is the most offensive thing that he has done thus far in his life.
Where's the burning, sweaty urges in the night when you're sitting there
none.
making jokes?
That's the thing.
None.
Where is the bloodshot eyes looking in the bathroom mirror being like, why do I do this?
I wish I could see my own skull, but then I can't kill again.
Yes, I wish I was one of the victims of my own hands so I could feel what it feels like to be choked to death by myself.
Yeah.
I mean, it is
Yeah.
ridiculousness.
And this will tell you everything you need to know about BTK right here. Is that the reason why he stopped in 1991, because that is the year that he became a fucking dog catcher. He became what was known as a compliance officer among around. It was like some sort of apartment complex or something like that.
Women have wronged me.
Yeah,
A dog has never wronged me. I am very upset about this.
I know, and yeah, he became a dog catcher, and just everyone had a story about this guy, Officer Rader, who was just a horrible asshole, big complete power trip, like just an absolute power mad dog
the Joe
catcher.
Arpaio of dog catchers.
There was one woman who told a story. He was because I think he was starting to feel like kind of the urges again, and he was starting to just kind of get on her ass about her dog, and her boyfriend moved in. He's like, "Yeah, you got to get rid of that boyfriend. When are you gonna get rid of that boyfriend?" And she's like, "Why won't you leave me alone? Just please leave me alone." She's like, "I'll leave you alone if you get rid of that boyfriend."
No,
And
probably
then
not true.
one day, and then after it just went on and on, she came home. Her dog was gone. She called up. She went over to animal control. He had kidnapped her dog and taken it to animal control and had it put to sleep.
Whoa.
This motherfucking monster.
Man, he went and he killed a dog? Like, literally,
Why
I know
did
that's
you
like so
kill a
fucked
dog?
up. But it's just like, that's what cleared him? Being a dog catcher?
That's what cleared him.
That's like, ugh. It's like one of those things where it's like that Russian version of heroin. What's it called?
Crocodile.
Yeah, it's crocodile. Where it's just like, oh, it's like heroin, but it like makes it,
but
I'm
it makes
fine
your-
with it.
Yeah, but it's like heroin, but it eats your flesh.
Yeah, it's like crocodile makes you a human skeleton, but heroin makes you Jimi Hendrix.
That's right. Think
All right?
about it.
Be a-
Lighting
be a
guitars on
dick-
fire.
You're being
And
a
also-
dickhead.
And also during this time, this is the time when he built his treehouse.
Yeah, the
so what was
treehouse-
this treehouse about?
He built a treehouse in the backyard, and neighbors said that he would very often go back into the treehouse, and they would see him looking through what seemed to be a scrapbook. He had a chest that he
Oh,
would
like
just,
listening to like the Boys of Summer again. You know?
Either that or sunshine, lollipops, and rainbows everywhere.
Yeah.
He was looking through all of his mementos, all of his photos, because he would take driver's licenses. He would take jewelry from all of his victims.
He's a real Bart Simpson.
I'm saying I keep all my flyers, and I have a
Yeah.
whole closet
Yeah,
full
me
of props,
too.
so
Yeah.
I understand that.
Yeah, I suppose so. So after 1991, he got his thrill by pretty much killing a bunch of dogs. He never murdered another person.
Did not murder that. Not that he ever confessed to, or that we know
So what's
of.
he doing during
I
this
think
time?
he
'Cause
would have
he's making-
confessed to it. He would have
Yeah, of
confessed
course
to it.
he
if
would
it
have.
went down.
He
So
He's
what
an
is-
attention whore.
So that's exactly what he is.
But
He's
the
the
funny
Kim
thing is-
Kardashian of serial killers.
the last two victims he never bragged about.
Okay, so what was going on with the
Yeah.
media? I want to get into the media here. So while he was doing this from 85 to 91, he was sending a bunch of different messages to the media.
He was sending letters, poems. He was sending these. He
was connecting the dots from the 70s to the 80s to the 90s for the media, right?
Exactly. And he was also sending them cereal boxes with prizes inside.
I hate this fucking...
I know,
What a
yeah.
fucking
He would-
crafty.
He would make dolls reenacting the crimes.
Okay.
And he would put jewelry in there. He had a couple of driver's licenses
the-
from women that he had
Now,
killed.
going back, we were talking about Cake, K-A-K-E, the news station. Was
Yeah.
that the channel that he mostly communicated
That was
with?
the only one he communicated with that and with one of the newspapers.
And is there any, have the reporters discussed getting these messages? I mean,
Yes, there's one reporter that it was kind of the main guy who was covering all of these stories
Right.
at the time. He's very relaxed about it. But
What do you
I
mean?
You could. He's just like, yeah, you know,
no,
BTK.
definitely. It was the story of my career, and I got to tell you,
Yeah.
if I could do it all over again, I'd do it all over again. Thank you very much. Thank you, Dennis Rader. This has been KAKE. Kate,
Yeah.
get yourself a slice of the news.
Yeah.
Thank you.
They had a promo like that.
Oh yeah, of course.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
There's a guy cutting cake and he's like, "Oh, the Hindenburg. Oh, JFK assassination. Another slice of the cake."
Hot Dog Squad. All right. So what was the reporter's response? I mean, how many letters was he giving? Was it monthly or yearly? or
Yearly.
weekly?
I mean, it was it was fairly sporadic. Like, it wasn't like. Let me see here.
I feel like, Dennis was probably very upset, and this is why he had to write all these letters. No one was putting together the dots that it's the same person, and I think he was desperate.
But that's his fault.
Right, exactly, because he failed. He was too different. With every kill every kill is an individual art piece with him.
The other thing is what was his family life like?
Completely fucking normal. Like, I mean, he was married for 30 years to the same woman.
Right.
No idea. After he was caught, she
The
just
weirdest
filed
thing
for
about-
immediate divorce. She had no idea any of it was going on. Their kids had no idea any of it was going on. They had the house demolished that they lived in.
I'm
Just
sure the
completely
only
Can
demolished.
you imagine being one of his children?
Well,
And
this
what that would
explains-
be
I
like?
tried finding more information about it. I found a little bit about his wife, but nothing about his children.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I think
I-
you change your last name at that point.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I also think that they could be titans of the of industry. Mm-hmm. They could
Yeah.
be really good because they talk about how like executives kind of have the same sort of psychopathic
Tendencies of serial killers,
that
yeah.
serial
Yeah.
killers have. The idea of like being a sociopath really helps you in
It
business.
does, and politics.
Yeah.
So he had the family life; everything was going normal. He had the letters written to the media. So where does he mess up? It's 1991 now. He's finished with the kills. He's got his, he's satisfied with his little dog catching career.
Yeah.
I'm sure he's still spending about 2-3 hours in the bathroom every
Yeah,
night.
it's like being an English teacher after spending years of trying to be a writer.
Right, exactly. He should have just gone. He should have gone and taught a class about serial killers because he's not good enough to be one. So
So here's how we fucked up.
okay,
From 91 to 2004, nothing.
okay.
Like, there's like nothing from him. Nobody hears anything from the BTK killer. But in 2004,
He's going through that Mickey Rourke 1988 to 2000.
Yeah, when he was a professional boxer for like 6 months. Yeah.
exactly.
and so this lawyer is releasing a book about the BTK killer.
Okay.
And
And that's probably also because I also know that amazing Australian BTK documentary, which is also online. I should post that as well.
Yeah.
That also came out. Both being like, and has he? Yes, he's disappeared into the shadows, but when will he emerge?
I also want to point out to our audience, Henry was an elderly man today for his video shoot,
Oh,
and he is currently peeling skin off of his face.
it's pretty weird. It's really weird.
It's helping me discuss this. I tried to wash myself yesterday before doing our show,
God.
and I scrubbed my face, and I forgot to look in the mirror. Oh, I wish you could see this.
I'm going to take a picture of it, Henry, so then they can see it.
Oh, you can't actually see it.
Yeah, you can see that. That is
But
absolutely disgusting.
I was on the train. I didn't realize. I looked in the window of the train. And I had this fucking white triangle of liquid latex, like right over under my eyelid. And I was just like, oh, I didn't even think about it. And I just started ripping it off my face. And because it pulls, it like stretches.
Yeah.
And I look and I see this woman. It's just going like, oh my God. And I was just like, it's makeup. It's makeup.
Terrified. All right, so 91 to 2004.
Yeah. And a book, there's a story in the Wichita Eagle about this lawyer who's about to release this book about the BTK killer and all that. And then for some reason, fucking Rader cannot stand it. And so he sends a letter.
He's like fucking Harry Knowles.
He's awful. He sends a letter to the Wichita Eagle with a return address using the name Bill Thomas Killman.
I fucking hate
that.
BTK.
I hate that. That's so stupid.
What is wrong with him?
I don't
It's
know.
like he writes for Don't Trust the Bitch in Apartment 23.
Yeah, canceled.
Can we get a flush noise in there?
That's not a flush noise.
But when he sent the letter, he enclosed photographs of the crime scene and a photocopy and a driver's license from Vicky Wegerly, the 1986 murder, the woman that he strangled on his lunch break.
The actual driver's license, not a photocopy of it?
Yes, a photocopy.
Okay,
of it.
I was going to say, I don't think he's going to give away his goods.
Yeah. And so for the next, until about, this is in March of 2004, and until, let's see here, February 2005, he just keeps sending him shit. Like,
Okay.
just weird shit. This is what
Are
he
they
does. This is when he does, like, the cereal boxes, all that type of shit. Like, it's just him kind of being...
this is when he's jumped the shark.
Yeah, this is...
Now, yeah.
He's absolutely jumped the shark on this.
So what is, I feel like the motivation in the back of his mind, granted, he wants notoriety, he wants fame. I think he also wants to be caught.
Actually, that's the thing.
how
Is that I
much do
feel
you-
like in the end, it's like he got exactly what he wanted. It's like he got caught. Like if he had
Well,
wanted,
here's how we got...
He
here's-
never should have been caught.
Here's how he got caught. No, he never should have been got caught. Here's how he got caught. He asked in letters to police. He asked if his writings, if put on a floppy disk, if they could be traced. The police said no.
Oh my God.
And
Well, the sausage gang doesn't lie. The hot dog boys always tell me the truth.
the hot dog squad always shoots straight.
absolutely,
Yeah.
you can trust me. I'm Detective Popcorn.
I love
You
Detective
just come
Popcorn.
and you just-
Dearest
you just
Detective
send me
Popcorn.
all your flip floppies. Oh, I'll put some ranch flavor in them.
Ooh, I love ranch.
Flavor crystals.
I feel
Getting in your, getting all up on your thumbs.
I like him.
Yeah, I like him too.
guy.
All right,
I should have been a popcorn guy.
I just got lost in the world of Detective Popcorn.
I want to see an Adult
wanna
Swim
be-
show
I
called
wanna-
Detective Popcorn. I want to see how he solves crimes, usually with buttery flavor.
Why is he always sleepy?
Because I feel like he's like in bed.
I mean, he's lard. I mean, how does fat talk? All right.
So, and so he sent a floppy disk with his writing because apparently, I guess he was tired of typing out on a typewriter. and
Whatever.
doing
He gave
photocopies.
himself up.
Yeah, and so
he
he
did.
sent them a floppy disk, and the forensic analysis immediately found that it was used by the Christ Lutheran Church, and
Man,
internet-
I would have never stopped laughing.
And there was a reference to the name Dennis. An internet search determined that a Dennis Rader was president of the church council. They arrested his ass. And of course, since he had spooged all over a little girl back in 1974, they had his DNA on file.
right.
So this man was, he was arrested and caught dead to rights.
He wanted it.
Yeah.
And so we gave him exactly what he wanted. Because in the end, what he wanted is he wanted everyone to know his name. He wanted to know that
Oh, hold
he
on.
was.
Keep that right there.
He wanted to know that everyone to know that Dennis Rader did it and that he did it. We're taking another picture of me pulling my skin.
I love it. It's amazing.
But yeah, that's exactly what he wanted. He wanted everyone to
did.
pat himself in the back, and so he would know.
He did, and
this is how they caught him. It's like, this is actually pretty. They didn't actually lie to him. That what they did is they searched the metadata on the disk. He had erased the disk from a previous use, which someone had used a Microsoft Word document for the floppy disk.
Okay.
and
Bill
it contained,
Gates is the ultimate detective.
and it contained the word Christ Lutheran Church, and the document was marked last modified by Dennis.
You have got to use a new disc.
Yeah,
Write it on a piece of paper.
Write it
Being
on
a
piece-
lazy piece of shit.
Right. Use the hot dog bun that you've used for the past 20 fucking
No,
years. and
no,
haven't
no.
been
He
caught.
wanted it. He's so happy. He was so happy when he got caught. I hate that when they're happy.
No,
Yeah,
they
me
shouldn't
too.
be happy. All
You
right.
shouldn't be happy. There's no reason for you to be happy.
You know, I feel like it's
and then
sort of
he
an-
gave an extensive interview, and then he has been all over the place. He, smiles for all the cameras. All these people are clamoring to talk to him. He got exactly what he wanted.
What were some of the things
media
that he talked
feeds
about?
into it,
What
as
were-
always.
What were some of the things that he talked about during these extensive interviews?
I know
He goes into complete dispassionate detail of all of his crimes. He loves talking about it. He actually huffs and puffs like it's a pain in the ass, but
Yeah.
it's not. He loves
Yeah,
it.
and there, when he's talking about Maureen Hedge, the woman that he, fucked in the church, he's like, I moved her to the trunk of my car,
He's such a
and
boring dude.
like that's what he
It's like,
actually
you're in
did
court,
that.
bro. You don't have anywhere else to be today. So fucking either get some flamboyancy, learn how to tell a story, or just shut the fuck up and write it in a piece of paper.
He's like the only reason shows like Reba existed and shit fucking comedies. You imagine the things that he enjoyed to watch that really got him going funny.
Oh, we were we were talking about this the other. Yeah, his favorite show was probably Reba.
I'm sure it
yeah.
was.
Oh yeah, he's
Well,
the worst
family,
person on the face of the planet.
I
was talking about with someone earlier today. He was talking to a guy in advertising, and he asked him what his they were talking about movies. And he's like, "You want to know my favorite movie is The Hunger Games."
fuck off.
And it's just like, yeah, exactly. That's what serial killers do.
Get
Like, yeah,
outta
that's what
here.
people. Yeah, if you have no genuine feelings.
All right, so let's get a total death count. BTK, how many kills
My
did he
favorite
have?
Wizard of Oz things is Return to Oz.
Wrong.
Total confirmed kills 10.
Okay.
It's purported to be maybe a few more, maybe less. I don't know. He never confessed anymore, so I don't think he did anymore.
I think
because
he
I
would
don't
have
think
confessed.
he
he would have confessed.
More importantly,
since-
how many dogs? Do they have a number on that?
the only one confirmed.
Well, that's enough for me. Throw him away for life.
Yeah, and he was sentenced to life in prison because Wichita, as I said in the last episode, Wichita reinstated the death penalty in '94. The last known murder took place in 1991. So now he's just in prison, writing letters, writing poems about spring.
I heard he's also doing. He writes a lot of the questions for The View. He's doing really well with that. Yeah.
Yeah, he literally has Joy Behar's ear. Like every joke that she tells is straight from BTK.
He's funny.
I like him.
He's funny. But again, this is a guy's story that, in terms of for covering serial killers, this is a very important story. You show he was for a long period of time the perfect serial killer.
Yeah.
I mean, he did it. He did it exactly in a way he was undetected.
Worked for a security company, Boy Scouts.
Exactly,
You can't get.
Yeah, he went to the Harvard University of what it takes to be a serial killer,
Right.
and he was a total prick, baby. If your fucking boss is like that, he's probably a serial killer.
That's
If he's
possible.
a,
There was- I know
if
that
he
when he
goes
was
to
working-
church and loves Reba,
When he
he's
was-
a serial killer.
There's a woman that wrote a book called "My Boss Was the BTK Killer." And she said that one time he trapped her in her office. She said, he just kept moving towards me. I said, Dennis, open the door. Finally, he reached over, opened the door, and with a complete change of personality, he walked to his desk and sat down and acted like nothing happened.
Oh, no, that's just hindsight. That's you just putting it in there. And then you
Yeah.
just think every time he's advancing, you were too ugly for him. Or too big. Probably too big.
She's too big.
pretty.
She's a pretty big girl.
Yeah, oh, yeah,
Yeah.
no. He never had eyes for her.
Is it sad if you're too ugly for a serial killer to kill you?
No,
I don't know.
At the
Henry
same-
wasn't pretty enough to be molested by a priest.
Yeah, and
true.
it helped me, that helped me to not be molested. I'm sure that would have added
I cannot
a thing
imagine
on there.
how you would be if you were molested.
I bet I would be like silent. I'd be like one of those guys who's like, you working at 7-Eleven, who you think is kind of retarded. He's like 30 years old, and he's just like, you won't, you don't, they won't. Father Brennan used to put me down, put my hand on the Bible. All right. Fish's fingers is smelly fish.
So it is
fingers.
99-cent Slurpee Monday, right? All right. I'm just going to back out of the store slowly.
Let's go.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Got your jerky, right? Let's
You
just
don't want
take
to
it.
Slim Jims?
Let's just take it. Let's
You
just
don't want
take
to
it.
Slim Jims?
Yeah,
You don't
no,
want to hang out Friday? You want to hang out Friday?
no. Can we get 15 on pump 4?
Yeah. 15.
You know what? We're going to push the car.
Father
just
Brennan
gonna go. We're
came
just
in when I was 15 years old.
All right, well, I guess that wraps up BTK. If you have any,
Again,
ideas of your own about the guy,
If you're in a couple, there's a man hiding in your closet waiting to kill both of you. If you're a single woman, there's a man in your closet trying to kill you.
And if you're a single man, you're in a closet waiting to kill a couple, or you're in a closet waiting to kill a single
don't let
woman.
your children, let people in the house fucking screen people.
That's right.
Don't talk. If your boss is a dickhead, he's a serial killer.
That's right.
If he loves Reba, he's a serial killer.
Serial killer.
If he works for a church, he's definitely a serial
100%
killer.
serial
And if
killer.
you work for a church, quit it because
That's
you're
right.
going to change.
And if you feel at all threatened, make sure to call Marcus, Henry, and Ben, the brand new Hot Dog Squad. Yeah, the Hot Dog Squad.
Oh, you gonna enjoy me when I get caramel all over my hard pop kernels. I love it when the sweet hot popcorn mixes with the cold caramel
Weird.
syrup.
What?
Balance of temperature and texture. Salty and sweet.
They'll
My name
say-
is Lieutenant Pepper Dimples,
Pepper
and
Dimples.
I'm here to go on your hot dog and help you capture the serial killer.
Oh, shut up, Pepper Dimples.
Well,
This
you
is my
shut up.
microphone.
Dr. Popcorn.
It's not time for me to talk. Ain't time for you to talk.
I can do whatever I want. I love you.
It's the
Well,
cutest
this is
fight
really
I've ever seen.
it was the cutest fight, and it's the exact reason why we have a lot of inaction in our hot dog squad. So if you guys would please stop, we've got some serial killer crimes to solve. Please.
Oh, and by the way, I outrank you.
What?
I'm lieutenant.
That's true. That is true.
All
That
right,
is true.
all right. Well, that's Marcus, Ben, and then of course Henry.
What? Yeah, that's you.
You
said,
are Henry.
oh, you pointed at me. I mean, you can't see that when you're listening to it.
But you are Henry.
But you pointed to me when you said Ben. Like you put yourself on me, like you want to be me.
Do you feel like you're touching the sweetest teats?
Oh, that is right. He's got a new one, a new fucking,
All right, it
a
doesn't
new
matter.
one in the stable.
All right. Oh, don't equate them to barn animals. That's ridiculous. Magustalations, everybody. Hail Satan.
Heil me!
Algene.
And I decided, hail yourself.
Yeah.
as well.
Take some time
You know,
today.
go-
Go ahead and
Hail yourself. Hail yourself, everybody. All right, we'll talk to you soon.